Geoff Irvine. I'm chairman of Bedford Blues and have been for some time, and also for some time I've been the elected chairman of the Championship Clubs, which puts me on the PGB,
yes,
on the RFU Council. And
so you're the representative of the Championship to the RFU and all its various committees?
Yes, I try and beat the drum on behalf of the Championship with regard to PRL and the RFU.
Which must be quite a difficult job, because everybody comes from slightly different the clubs, I mean, come from different situations and have different objectives. They all have their different sets of problems.
Yes, it is very interesting at times. You know, most chairmen would say that they like to get everybody on the same page.
Yeah.
I like to get them in the book to start with. That helps, you know. But no, they're all different. But you know, we just try and if all else fails, let's hope common sense prevails. You know.
So is there a case where you have any kind of shared KPIs? Can you say at the beginning of a season like we are now, this is what we all want to achieve by the end of this season? Or is it just making sure that you're representing yourselves as en bloc to the RFU and various
well, I think
stakeholders?
that, look, we all start off with a basic instinct for survival, but you know, over the past few years, you know, the RFU, because of the massive investment in the Championship, have taken much more interest in our financial affairs. And you know, we are now holding meetings with the financial managers. You know, the new website. I mean, the communication between the clubs and the RFU has improved considerably over the last few years.
Yes.
And you know, I think that the RFU are using their wisdom to try and educate a lot of the clubs to increase their odds of survival.
Yeah.
You know.
Is it clear what the Championship is for? I don't mean that in a kind of inflammatory way. I just mean that in the way that it must mean something different to every member of it, every club member of it.
Yeah, but I mean, look, we all recognise the fact that we're part of a chain, you know, and that if English rugby is successful, then there's a cascade effect down,
yeah,
you know, through the clubs. We feel we're part of that process, and you know, we believe that the Championship is a great place for young England qualified players to learn their trade. Well, that's number one. Number two is, you know, it's a well-known fact that you know, the RFU are trying to draw a line between the community game and the professional game. You know, you've got Premiership rugby up there, you've got community rugby at level 3, and you know, the Championship is the buffer zone, if you like, between those two. And you know, each year Premiership rugby sign 10-15 players from the Championship that go into Premiership rugby. So you know, if the Championship didn't exist in that form, where would those players play?
Yeah. I always thought that Bedford had a pretty good attitude towards the financial side of it, in terms of also the ambition of not getting into the Premiership again, and it seems like a lot more Championship sides are taking that more pragmatic approach.
I'm sure you're right, yes. I think that obviously I think the downfall of London Welsh was a lesson to a lot of clubs, you know, and I think they've learned from it. Look, as far as Bedford goes, I've made no secret of my ambitions. I'm trying to protect my children's inheritance as much as I can, and I think in life you need to know where you feature. We consider ourselves to be a very good Championship club. If we can finish up being the 16th best rugby club in the country, yeah, then what's so wrong with that? You know, we would consider that for a small town club to be an achievement. And more than anything, you know, what we're aiming for is to make Goldington Road the place to be on a Saturday afternoon, and you know, we've done that. We had 2,800 on Saturday for a pre-season friendly against Saracens, you know. So.
And so that makes it a sustainable process. People are coming, buying tickets, drinking beer, eating burgers, and that pays pretty much for the upkeep of the club.
Yeah, we're just about there now, but it has taken 16 years of hard work to to get in that position. You know, when I took over, average gates were 1,200. Average gates now is 2,600. So, you know, there's a lot of hard work by a lot of people on and off the field, but I'd like to think that at Bedford we've got it about right now.
And do you think there'll be a time in the foreseeable future when there is enough revenue in the Championship for more clubs other than one or two to be ambitious to get promoted to the Premiership?
Leading question, that one. I mean, there's no doubt about it that, you know, there is at this point in time, there is a gap, enormous gap between the Championship and Premiership rugby, but that is, you know, that's dictated purely by money, isn't it? You know, if wherever somebody like Steve Lansdowne might go, then he could make whatever club that was, a Premiership club, if he so desired.
Yes. Yes.
You know, so there's going to be that. Probably there is only 26, 28 clubs in the country who could even consider themselves to be professional rugby clubs anyway, and sustain them.
Yes, great. I'm interested in the TV streaming. What are your hopes for TV online and the viewership for Bedford and for the whole league?
Look, anything, you know, and the RFU are trying more and more initiatives now. You know, so anything that gets us into the, you know, into the public domain in any way, shape or form is going to be good for us. I mean, you know, it's generally accepted that you know, most Championship games are entertaining games. You know, so let's try and get as many of them as we can out to a bigger audience as we can.
Will it be live streamed, or is it just it's not going to compete with your actual tickets, your gate takings, is it? If you
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think the games are mainly going to be live streamed, and strangely enough, if sometimes if your home game is televised, it actually increases the gate.
Yeah.
Some people quite like to come down and be seen on television for some reason.
Yeah, it gives it a sense of event. Yes. Yeah, I agree. It's the first year that you haven't had a playoff.
Right.
And I think the big question is whether that excitement can be held until the end of the season without the playoffs there, especially with a strong team like Bristol likely to be smashing everything that comes into
Bristol
their
have
way.
got their own agenda. Let them get on with that. The rest of us will scrap amongst ourselves. But at the end of the day, there's a not insignificant sum of money which is up for grabs for finishing second, and I would like to get that. What's wrong with that?